All right, so we're here with some whiskey wizards, and that's the wizard himself.
The wizard. We love him. We love him.
And they're about to do a fresh crack. This is a Pappy, you said?
Pappy Van Winkle, 15 year. 15 year.
15-year Pappy.
That's the man right there. He's
Man, the myth, the legend. What's
And
that
then we
one?
got a W.O. Weller. This is the BTAC line, right? So it's 2015 Weller. And then we got a Thomas Handy.
Richard, what's this mean to you?
What does what mean to me?
Being able to sit up here and drink some of these things.
First of all, these are, they only come out once a year. Everybody that is a fan of this stuff has to wait all year for it. It comes out in fall at the end. And they do a fantastic job on all of them usually. This is your wheated mash bill at cask strength. They're usually about 12 years old. This is your Sazerac rye at cask strength. They're about 6 years old and change. People sleep on these and they are phenomenal.
Fantastic.
And then you've got your Pappy lineup, so your Old Rip and your 15 or 107, and then you've got, I think, your 20, 23 and the 12 are a little bit lower proof, but I can't remember the proof points on them, and they're all sensational.
Man,
Let's fresh crack that baby.
that right there, people, is it being freshly opened by the veteran himself.
No.
He's a whiskey vet.
We've been around a couple years.
Did you rinse?
Yes, I did. Yeah, definitely rinse before some of this stuff. You good? Okay. Yeah, I've got a whole bottle of, or a whole box of.
Oh, you did bring.
Yeah, I've got my box of Glens with me. You ready? Are you clean?
That's Pappy at his finest, man.
Well, they say about the 15. The 15 year is kind of like the sweet spot
Yeah.
of the Pappy Van Winkle. A lot of people say the 20 and the 23 years over oaked because it's been in the barrel so long, and they don't necessarily refrigerate it to keep it from continuing to age. But there's magic in what they do out there,
There's
and
magic
they do.
here. There's
they do
magic
right.
here at the blendery. Every time I
yes.
come here, I tell myself it's so bad.
There you go, man. Oh, here. Hey, Andy.
Hey, how you doing? I gotta head out, but
Good to see you, man.
you as well. Yeah, you got soaked up there. So,
Oh, man.
It's hot already, man.
what do we got going on here?
Got a 2017 Pappy Van Winkle 15.
Nice,
We've got a 2015 W.L. Weller.
awesome,
And we've got a 22 Handy.
awesome. You guys enjoy.
Awesome.
Sorry, I can't stay.
Well, yeah. We're sorry because we'd love to share it with you. Yeah, so cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Look, thank you a ton for sharing this.
Yeah.
This is stuff you only hear about in the movies.
Let us sit. And the thing is, when you look at the money and you say, oh, that's way too much money, it's not worth it. And it's an experience. It's being able to try it, to share it with other people, and to share something that you love, and it's like the best of the best.
Man, drinking Pappy for the first time.
Me too.
You too?
My first.
So you've never had it. We got it. Look, this is recording, so
Yeah, and you got to get the nose and make sure. And,
how long
and
should you let it
develop.
sit?
Well, so swirl it in the glass. What you want to do is you want to get some coverage in the glass, and then kind of look at it and get it in the light, and you'll see the legs where the whiskey drips down.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a sense for how oily it is, the mouthfeel.
Man.
When you look at the legs, the thicker the legs and the slower it goes, then the more oily mouthfeel it's going to be. 107 proof.
Now, I don't know that
It's
you
got
would,
a sweet
I don't know
note
that
to
you
it.
would benefit from
you get
having
some of the
it
Pappy?
sit like you would a higher proof. Like,
Pour you some, man.
This is the, you said 17?
2017.
that's massive.
The nose is crazy.
Which I don't know if they're preferred lots over one over
I know
another.
the ones with the red foil, people say more for, but I think they stock those in like 14.
They hear about this in the movies.
But can't go wrong. People may split hairs on the ears, but
Oh man.
That's just so
Oh man. That mouthfeel. So good. The oily. It's sublime,
Yeah, thank you a ton, man. Richard, what are your thoughts?
huh? fantastic. I mean, it's like it's easy to sip it and understand why it's the one people are trying to get, or give to people for gifts, or I mean, it's if you can find one in the store, it's like what is it, a 160 now, or I think retail's gone up on a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, those they go for like what, 14, 15. Like people.
Well, the thing is, you either have to know somebody, or you got to wait in line three or four days, or maybe like 6 to 8 hours.
It is a
Now-
beautiful oak note. The wood note on that
It's
is
perfect almost.
fantastic.
The
Now,
finish
what-
is not super long on this one, but it's very subtle, and it's
It's
very
got good flavor, man.
genteel, I should say, or very refined. Yeah.
Now, what about coming up to the blendery and sharing these kind of bottles? I mean, why would you do that? That's I guess the best way to ask it is like,
We've developed friendships here. We've gotten to know all the guys at the blendery. Tim is such a great guy, such a great father now that he's got babies, and a great businessman. He really took a leap on this place, and we've embraced it. As the locals, so I'm a moderator in the locals. Miguel and Blake run that. It's just sharing. That's the whole thing. You want to share the experience with different people and allow them to try something that they might not ordinarily try. Jack Daniel's Black at the club is it's rock good. Sorry, Jack. Now the Jack Daniel's Rye that they came out with recently, I enjoyed that.
no, this ain't no Jack Daniels, man.
No.
This is elite.
Well, and what I'm interested to have you see is the difference between the Weller and the Pappy.
Let's put the top back on Pappy. It's making me nervous.
Oh yeah.
Pappy's gonna have the age and be a proof down a little bit, and the Weller's gonna have the proof and be a little bit younger.
The punch, the punch you get with the proof.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to know the batch sizes. Like, I'd love to know how many less or more bottles of the 15 they make over the William Marie every year.
well, and
That'd be interesting.
What's
to
the?
know.
Are they made by the same company?
Yeah, it's all Buffalo Trace.
yeah, it's all
Oh, this is all Buffalo Trace.
yeah, different mash bills, a different process, different parts in the rick house. Well, it's like Blanton's. So Blanton's is all rick house age or warehouse age.
Richard, did you think you was gonna wake up today and be drinking Pappy and
Proof down. Well, you got 93, and then straight from the bottle is going to be full proof, right?
Straight from the barrel.
Yeah, straight from the barrel. Yeah,
Rely on those people
straight
for
from the bottle. I have not been
I
drinking.
want to try that.
Oh yeah, the weeder.
It's
Yeah, go
also
for
a
it.
weeder, but higher proof than this,
But not as high as
and
that.
not as high as that. So proof-wise, we're starting low, medium, high. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
And Buster is out of Memphis.
is that a club?
It is a liquor store.
Liquor store,
okay.
yeah. Liquor stores used to be the ones that would do the picks. And, I mentioned Lincoln Road. Well, Lincoln Road, Jamie Ferris from Lincoln Road, very young guy, but he started, I guess, doing barrel picks in 2012.
Yeah.
And so we talked about the 1789B guys.
Yep.
They had kind of started in 2010. He was not very far behind us.
So you've
Back
already
then,
cut it?
not a whole lot of people doing barrel picks.
parts of this.
And so it was unique, and you got the concierge service, and you got
Taste-wise,
the red carpet treatment,
Everything.
and you got the pick through barrels to find what you wanted.
It wasn't. It's normal now. It's like normalized now.
Well, but normalized now, you get samples in a 200 milliliter bottle that get sent by the rep, and
Please play with
and
it.
it's kind of antiseptic. You're not going into the rick house. You're not tasting
have a
on site.
feeling about it.
You can,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people would do with the BTAC and the Sazerac, barrel program, where you go into the lottery and you get picked. Maybe you don't get
There's
picked.
a mintier thing.
Man. But look, I'm excited, man, because every time I show up, I never know what's gonna happen. That's why I keep showing up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but sharing with other people, with newbies like yourself,
Newbies.
in a non-judgmental atmosphere.
That's a key thing too, because I literally don't know, but I know because I've been around Tim and blessed to be around him. So I'm like, guys, I get a front row seat to elite whiskey, and even more importantly, just the business side of it. And this is bar none.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, and the only reason I'm opening these two, which may sound like a little bit of a flex, is that I've got backups for these two.
Hey.
Hey. Well, and so that's what happens when you work your whole life and you're into retirement and you've got FU money. So you live it out. I'm not buying really fast race cars and stuff like that, which I would love to.
But you're not going to juggle these balls.
No. God, no. Well,
You're not crazy.
but that gets back to the story we talked about of the evolution of the clubs and what makes the clubs work. And like Bunky said, they all have their own personality.
Yeah.
And that's developed through the pandemic. It used to be the only way we could socialize was to do bottle shares. And so we would get a club together, 2 clubs together. There'd be a bottle release, where the club did a private barrel pick and we'd release it, back in the 2020, 2021 timeframe. Everybody would show up. You'd have a parking lot in a liquor store that would just be filled with people and drinking, and you'd have maybe 50, 60 bottles that people would bring. Hey, try this. The Russell Reserve 13, that's where I tried it, was at a bottle drop. And
I know
and a
Russell's.
share.
Jimmy brought 5 different bottles of Russell's over the house the other day. Literally.
That's my
A lot of
jam.
fun.
That's my jam.
Yeah. We do something called booze and food. So part of what I do here is clearly the blendery.
Yeah.
And then we do something on the art of whiskey called booze and food. So we all get together, and Richard comes too, and we blend. They'll bring bottles and blend them, and then we cook a bunch of good food, man, and sit around and eat on a Monday. What better way to start the week than with booze and food, man?
That's great. We just went to Haywire.
Oh, good place. Their whiskey menu sucks compared to this, though.
What's that?
Their whiskey menu sucks compared to this, though.
Well, they had some good stuff. They have the good stuff.
They have this stuff. It's very pricey.
It's very pricey.
There you have
Because
it.
you're paying over secondary for the per glass
All that.
type of stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
did you pour?
Yeah, I poured a little bit in. Give it a try. But no, it's all different. I love it.
Tony does too.
Yep, I can tell a little sharper nose on it. Even newer.
So Buster, speaking of Russells,
Yeah.
this guy does great picks, and I'm having a geriatric moment, but I forget his name. I met him a couple of years ago. He invited us in his office and let us buy some of these really good bottles. And he's like Lincoln Road,
Yep.
Mesanos. There's a few that have what is it? What's the restaurant? 33. Anyway, you find out that certain people really have a nose and a palate, and they can pick good.
And they've been in it for a long time.
Yeah, no, Tim's, look, when we went and found the buff turkeys, let me be very clear, I was there, and at some point, I still didn't know what was going on, but he's opening 40 barrels, right?
Yeah.
And I'm with him, I'm like, you guys this is crazy. And even that night, I mean, we had been in a barrel house most of the day. He brought me something that tastes like a mint. It's like a mint ice cream almost. And so like the strawberry, all the stuff you guys got, I'm like, I still didn't know what was going on. I was like, dude, this is good. I don't know what it means. Now, what I'm learning is it's super valuable to people who fancy whiskey, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, you've seen it over the years, or
Over the year,
time
look,
you've been
June is this month is me 1 year, 1 year in whiskey.
cheers,
man.
cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah. And we'll open up the Weller here in a minute, but yeah. Watching you and watching all the notes. Oh my God, we're getting cherry on this one. Oh, we're getting a little bit of brown sugar on
Cherry,
this one.
leather,
and then,
brown sugar, burnt brown sugar cubes, everything that Richard comes. You like, it's just like fresh cracked plastic. You like, dude,
and
what
dark
are you?
fruit,
Yeah.
currant and figs. And,
Hey,
and
this
all
is
that
what
stuff.
Jesus's fruit plate would have tasted like. You go, what are you guys talking about here? But you can sense it when you hit those cherry notes, and then he knocks it out of the park with things like RC Cola.
Yeah.
That you go, that literally, like a flat cola, it literally is like that exact thing.
Tasted like the syrupy cola. Yeah.
Like an RC.
It
Not
was
repulsive, right?
no, it was good.
Not off-putting. Yeah.
Not at all. It was probably one of my favorite ones, next to Golden Grains and orange juice.
So which blend tasted like cola to you? Was it one of these blends or one of the barrel
The buff turkeys. Yeah. Or do you remember much about the buff turkey?
Look,
trip?
you know what happens? This is what happens. People come in all the time and say, I'm sitting back there in my little bat cave. They think I want to talk all day. I'm like, I just do videos as we see fit. Long story short,
Yeah.
when we get a barrel day, right? So you've seen the barrel videos. We open up 15 barrels in a day. So in 2 days I'm here, no exaggeration, you've seen the videos, 15 barrels get open. One was Ron Burgundy, which was the first one.
Yeah.
But you go, hey man, did you try? I'm like, dude, I drank 15 barrels in 2 days on top of promoting the things that they're bottling. And then I'm coming back saying, hey, on Saturday, what do we need to shoot to? So I'm like, by this time, I don't even know what happened.
You need some focus. Yeah.
So
That's a lot of video content. Because
But-
I do video editing and all that stuff.
So
and
you
that's
get
a
it though,
lot.
because, and that's why the social media side of this thing, like if he had to do that part, it could be taxing, because you go, and then like the whiskey, like I think not him, but another group was out there, and they opened up 6 of the barrels outside, right? So I shot all those videos, and there's 2 videos you guys didn't see that I have in my phone, well, this phone, that we shoot content on. So I'm like, there was 15 videos on just opening up barrels, not including things that are being bottled that I try, or that are going to various clubs that we promote. So did you try this? I'm like,
It's dizzy. It's dizzy.
I tried everything, man, but I don't know what's going on.
When he talked about how many, one of the most recent ones, how many projects he's got backed up.
He's
and
killing
just
it.
experiments. And
Yeah.
That's why they needed to bring him in. And I think it was a
Oh,
smart move.
bringing Richard in was game changing, because it allows him more time to build the relationships, sustain them, and do the stuff that the business needs to do to keep people coming and going, and not have to worry about the blends and when they're coming out. And then he just gets their proof. You know, you understand business, sure. But man, this right here is, for one, amazing.
That's good stuff.
2, super grateful. Glad I'm here, and I'm glad we got to turn this into an episode. So guys,
Well, and if Buck gets here, I'm sure he will have something fantastic to add to this.
It's funny because he'll walk in here, but he was here weekend before last. And he cracked a King of Kentucky, which is on
Like a
par
16-year
for-
King of Kentucky white label.
I have no clue.
Think Old Forester, but think of their premium.
Top,
Top
like,
of the line, top.
well, see, and that's I think that's my challenge too. Is you got to think a lot of whiskey guys, they want to get started. For the most part, if I wanted to try any things, big thank you to Tim. I could probably reach out between him, his brother, and his father.
Oh, yeah.
And taste anything, because they have thousands, not hundreds.
Yeah.
1,800 plus, 500 plus bottles, and a good portion of really great stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what's that like? You want to try, Trevor? I'll open one for you. Because they literally don't care.
Well, all you have to do.
But they care about the experience, back to what you guys are talking about. Like, hey,
That's the important part.
We got to get somebody to give us a picture of the wall, right? Tim's display wall up there. Now it's almost exclusively, in fact, it is exclusively blendery blends.
It wasn't when we came in 3
When we
years
first came in 3 years ago,
It was
it
his
was
stuff.
it was
hey,
all of, it
you
was
guys,
all of his,
I saw
it was all
that.
of his stuff.
Now, because at the top, I was like, oh, you guys are right. I didn't see the
changed it.
change.
They've changed it all out.
I love
He's
it.
done so much stuff, which is a testament to
More
his
like
success.
his little thing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He gave me one, the video that we just posted. I mean, he gave me that one he's carried around, that brandy that he's had for 25 years. And the Barracuda.
The cognac.
Yeah.
Cognac,
Well, it's
Armenian. Still, I didn't get through it. What did it taste like?
So
you think?
surprisingly, he goes, I used to buy things based on me thinking that the shape of the glass was good. And then we all tried it, and it was like, oh shit, that is actually really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck. I said, I'm giving it to you now. I got to give it to you. So it's in my house now. But it's really good. Like, I don't even know what brandy should taste like, but that thing had so much flavor. It was ridiculous. So anyone who's drank whiskey and knows about whiskey, if you try that brandy, if you've been down the brandy road, you'd be like, oh, this is ridiculous. And he bought it literally 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And if it's Armenian,
It's super good. It's
those
whiskey.
folks know what they're doing. They don't mess around.
Here's the thing.
Armenians are sharp folks.
And in every other space, culturally speaking, these people have very sharp palates because they cook with depths of flavor and seasonings and from the earth almost. So I'm only imagining if you brought one of those guys to smell, nose, taste some whiskey or brandy, you'd be like, oh no, this is too flat. And you'd be like, oh, this is great. Like, it could be better.
Yeah.
They would be pushing to the limit. And that brandy, I wouldn't know where to go after that because that's so good. So I say, hey guys, 1 sip a year. Like if he kept it for 25 years, I'm only doing 1 sip for the next year. Like, hey, you get 1 ounce for the next year or for the next however long it lasts, but every year only 1 sip a person. And
Did anybody compare it to Louis the 13th?
Louis is different, man. I did learn about this. Now, mind you, I'm learning as I go and being behind
Yeah,
the
so
cameras.
tell me, I need to learn because I've got two bottles of Louis.
So the thing about Louis, the thing about Louis, as they say, is it's an infinity blend, basically.
Yeah.
So they just keep Louis alive. So you're getting whiskey from when he was alive, in the 13th century, whatever it was, right? So I'm gonna have to try Louis one day so I could see.
It's a neat. I've had it twice, and it's a really neat experience. It's a roller coaster of flavor, different than a bourbon.
Really flavor bomb. It's going to be lower proof.
But it's whoa.
Flavor.
finished up.
Well, the depths of it. That's the thing. Like the integrity when the monasteries were doing the whiskey, brandy, and all that other stuff. You go, okay,
Yeah.
there's something there. So I'm better at reading than actually tasting whiskey because I love history.
Have you had Armagnacs? Because Armagnacs
I
are
haven't.
similar to, like a cognac, but one single
Don't get me.
single distilled, double distilled. Don't get us lying. We don't know. We don't know
Hey,
that
look.
much detail. But we, as a club, we did Armagnac, and it was 1985. So it was bottled in '85.
Shit.
Or no, barreled in '85, and then they bottled it, and it was La Encantada. And so La Encantada uses a bunch of different Armagnac from different regions. So they're very, very localized.
See what I'm
With
saying?
local production, local grapes, all that stuff.
Look, you speak my language. So I'm a chef at heart. So that's why what we do.
Gastronomically,
Yeah, booze and food wise, between me and Jimmy G, we can make anything you could think of or didn't think of, we could bring to life. So as I told Tim, I said, Tim, I'm never going to be fascinated with whiskey that way, but I love history, so I'll read about it. But I love food because we need it, and I have to elevate it all the time because I try to eat healthy.
even if you get a chance to have a 4 or 5 star type of meal,
Oh my God,
it's amazing
get a chance.
the way they know how to balance all the flavors, all the acidity, sweetness, hotness.
You don't have a choice, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to work with the ingredients, but knowing how everything interacts is so key for a wonderful chef. And that pairing dinner we had the other night.
You had a pairing dinner?
Yes. Yeah. And so it was the new PFG, the Baumburgers PFG, which you may have heard about. It's a recent release. Really good. And then we had a Michter's 10, which was okay. And
Michter's 25, I heard, was better.
yeah, so much rarer. So the Michter's 20 and the Michter's 25. If you get a chance to go to Lover's Seafood, so Lover's Seafood, they've got a great bar, and I think a Stag Junior pour was outside pour was $16. Now, it may have gone up, but that's the
that's why
barometer
you-
that a lot of us use. Okay, do you have Stag Junior? How much is a pour of Stag Junior?
Then you go from there, right?
And it's like, okay, you got great prices. Well, he had a Michter's 10 and a Michter's 20. And so I got a pour of the Michter's 10, which was like $25, which that's about reasonable.
Yeah.
But then the Michter's 20 is like $125. Well, okay, I'm gonna buy a bottle of some Michter's 20
Dude,
before I buy a drink at a restaurant.
There you go. Prime example.
Except for I remember you can.
Yeah, let's rinse and then we'll do the Weller. We'll do the Weller fresh crack.
Perfect.
So I was at your house?
Yeah, you came to my house in Frisco, which was over off PGA and Hillcrest.
Oh man.
And we try and go slow
Were you talking
because
about
I do not like getting
Probably have
hammered.
just got a drink.
But it's the optimal buzz, and that's what college taught me. The thing I got from college and from being in a fraternity was how to get buzzed, but not get drunk and throw up in the toilet because you can't take the women home.
Oh, if you're had too much sauce.
Ladies don't like drunk guys.
It's not a good feeling for them. It makes you feel bad. So, guys, this is a Willet. Walk them through Willet and what,
So
what's this go
is
for?
2015.
2015.
Which I know Bunky had brought in a 2014.
Yeah.
So if you had this WL Weller before, it was that was the 2014. This is 2015. This is going to be a lower proof at 134.6.
Lower proof?
Lower proof than the one he brought in 2014.
He
So a
brought
lot
in
of the
those-
earlier ones were like a 140 plus proof, and that's hazmat, right? Over 140 is hazmat. So this is a 134.6 in 2015, and let's crack it.
Man, say. Guys, well, as you're watching this particular, hopefully you learn something. What I've learned about the whiskey community is that everybody's about sharing. It's very surprising, but even more importantly, it's refreshing to say the least. So when I'm here at the blendery, I learn a lot, which is why I'm recording everything. And even more importantly, I get to try amazing bottles that I don't think I would ever find or know to even look for.
You are fast-tracked on a crash course
Hey, I'm on a bullet train, man.
to Nirvana or something. I'm not sure what you're on a crash course to go to, but it's good.
It is good to be in the good. And look, if I didn't say it, man, thank you a ton for just following the blendery, and even more importantly, supporting whatever that looks like.
You're a great guy. I love your content. I love what you're doing. This ought to be helpful for your.
It's gonna be
your
good,
road,
man.
your
I had to,
travels, but-
this is going on you. Oh, look, just the education alone.
There you go.
I don't know anything about. I don't remember anything about these.
You ready? You ready? Okay. There you go.
He's gonna get ahead of himself, man. He got to slow down.
It happens every time I'll have one glass and I gotta finish something. So
You want to try this?
mix up.
Want to try this?
Oh, sure.
2015.
Why not?
Twist my arm.
Yeah.
You know what? I might. Be
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a photo with the Pappy.
Yeah.
So you don't dirty it up.
Well, I got another one here. Oh, and it's a Van Winkle.
so apropos.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Literally crazy.
And then
This is
so
the
you
craziest
got
stuff.
you got your bags, and everybody has a different bag.
Yeah, this bag is gorgeous, by the way, people. I'm like, God, they got. I need to get that
And the
bag.
backpacks, and
They've got the.
I'm into volume.
This is a recycled volleyball.
Oh, smart move.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
number
of
15.
There's a lot of old Amazon.
He's got some old Amazon stuff there, which is.
Well, that's how you protect the bottles.
Now,
Amazon
what
bubble
should?
packs.
Oh, so what should we know about Willett as we close this episode out, man? Or what is this? William
Weller.
LaRue?
Weller.
Weller,
So
William.
Willet, yeah, so you got Willet, and that's mostly source juice. And this is Buffalo Trace, but this is part of the BTAC series.
And BTAC means what?
Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, BTAC. And so every year, like they said, they have a release, and so they'll come out with a W.L. Weller, a Thomas Handy, George T. Stagg,
Yeah.
which you may have had also.
I've look. You guys are closing out. I'm gonna have to remember these because you're basically bridging that gap of. I think Pappy was the last thing I had to try.
yeah.
I don't think is there anything above this William LaRue.
Well, I mean, if you get a 2002 or a 2009, if you get to try that's like.
But I'm just saying, like,
top of the top.
after we've gone Pappy, after we've gone William, after we've gone George C. Stagg, like, what else is there above those things?
Gosh, I mean, you got the buff turkeys.
Oh, well.
This is on par with the buff turkeys. It's just this is.
Well, get this, I was
Buffalo
there.
Trace.
I was there, so I
You
tried
lived
all
it.
those.
You lived it. Well, and so do you know the whole story about the buff turkey?
Yeah, now look, we're going to cut it off because we can't tell the story on camera.
Exactly.
Stay tuned, people. As
Exactly.
always, follow the blendery. Thank you guys for watching.